Hello, LinkedIn. This is Jeannie, the 401k lady, here with my fellow social media BFF, Jake Rushton.
What's up, everybody?
All the way from Utah. You guys probably know him as 401 Jake. He has done a fantastic job of establishing his brand on LinkedIn and other social media platforms. So well, in fact, other 401k advisors reach out to Jake and say, help me figure this out. So we have the 401k Club. Tell us about the 401k Club.
So the club was just kind of born through COVID, right? I had a lot of time. People were asking me, how do I do what you do? And I started making online courses, but I found out every advisor needed more help in different areas. So I thought, let's just make a community around this online. We get together every week. We share ideas. It's really transparent. It's just advisors trying to lift each other up instead of trying to figure it out on your lonely self. So it's been really fun, and just had advisors all over the country reaching out. It's been a blast.
Man, I can tell you, I'm hearing excellent feedback. So I probably have heard from at least 10 advisors who are like, yeah, I'm working with Jake and I'm just so motivated and I'm so excited. I mean, what do you think your secret is to motivating these people? Because that's what I tend to hear.
Well, I think it's being a part of something that's bigger. So knowing you can lean on your team outside of just your own office, and knowing that there's other advisors having the same struggles that you're having, and there's someone that can help you through it, someone that's been there before, and then kind of keep you excited, like, hey, I can get through this, and then see the big picture and know, like, hey, you can pull off a lot of things in this industry even by yourself, if you don't have a big team yet, and you can be part of this club and it'll help you do that.
I love it. I think of when I first started at several conferences, I watched Charles Epstein talk. He was the 401k coach. And I know a lot of his coaching was around how we phrase things, how we communicate in the sales process, how we communicate in the education process. But how would you compare yourself or this generation of the 401k club and supporting other advisors to previous 401k advisors who did the same thing?
There's a new way of communication, right? We can't go to lunch as often. It's a lot more virtual meetings. And so that has changed the landscape of how we communicate, and you can't kind of have that personal touch in face to face. So how can you have that same influence through a digital presence? And that's kind of where I've jumped in and said, just be authentic and put yourself out there on social media. And you don't need to be an influencer, but you need to give your prospects and your clients and anyone else you want to help a chance to get to know you and like you and trust you, even if you're at home asleep and they're up on their phones looking at something, right? And they find you.
Yep, because it's constantly there,
Always.
even when you're not working.
Never takes a break.
So, of course, we love video, right? We both love video. So I'm curious, are you using video in any other format outside of social media? Do you send videos to your clients?
I do a lot of videos. So whenever I have a question from a participant or from a plan sponsor or a prospect, and I have an email I'm sending them, I'll usually attach a video as well using Loom. And that way they can actually view it. I can see if they view it. I can follow up and ask them why they didn't, or if they did, what questions they have. And it just gives them another way to get to know me better. And so I'm constantly using video all the time, even on the go. So I'm trying to do everything with my phone. Super simple. You don't need a big setup. I'm actually talking about that today during lunch here at the conference.
So I use video, of course, outside of social media, just about as much as I use it inside social media. And my trick, basically, if it's anything like a finalist or an introduction or a participant education video, whatever it is, or a thank you after a finalist, thank you for having us in, is to send an unlisted YouTube link, because then we're not having to subscribe to video services. Most people on their mobile phone already have YouTube downloaded. So you send that unlisted link and all they do is click on it. It should pop right up.
Yeah, that's a great one. And another tool I have that I like to use is Video Ask. So you can actually build a survey and ask questions, and they can click on an answer. And depending on how they answer, it'll go to another video. So you can build this logic out. So it's a really good, clean way to get feedback from people quickly with video.
I like that, Video Ask. Yeah. So I get asked this all the time. I have my answer, but I'm going to ask it to Jake. Does social media really help you build business? Does it really work?
I'll give you an example. I was sitting in a committee meeting. It was actually all the executive team for this big medical group in Idaho, and $24 million plan. They'd been with a large benefit shop that sold them the plan, went through a big transition to a record keeper because they had individual accounts. Long story short, in the group, there was two of them that had seen my YouTube videos, which were made for advisors, not even for plan sponsors. And in that meeting, they all just said, well, obviously Jake knows what he's doing. Look what he's telling the industry. Let's just hire him. They voted right there, won the plan on the spot, got the paperwork done, and it's a great client. So you never know. That's the point. You'll never know what content will do for you, but you'll never know if you don't try it. So you have to try, and it will live out there forever, and it has power.
That is absolutely my experience. It is not per se a lead generator, but when you have a lead, when you engage in the sales process, it adds that credibility that you need to tip it over the edge. Our last client we signed, we were referred in. We did our finalist for the next week. I watched their HR constantly like my videos. She sent me an email that was like, I love your content. There's no doubt in my mind we won that plan because of the video content online.
Yeah, they get to know you, and you're not doing it individually one by one. You've
No.
made that video, and all these people are watching it, and they might not all have been at that meeting if you had it in person. So you got to start making video content and give Google something to show people when they
Right.
drop your name. When someone drops your name, it's power.
So aside from video, what else do you do on LinkedIn? Like aside from posting and video and just 401 Jake, how else do you use LinkedIn?
Well, I want to make sure my LinkedIn is looking really good as far as telling people my story and who I am, what I'm all about, because it's oftentimes one of the first places people go, that and my website. So those are the two places Google mostly will show. So you've got to make sure your LinkedIn is really up to date, that you want to go engage with people. That's the other part. I think a lot of us are just either scrolling through, we're spending time, we're going down rabbit holes looking, but we're not actually engaging. So, and you wonder why the only people liking your posts, if you do any, is other advisors. It's probably because you're only engaging with those advisors. So LinkedIn thinks that's who you want. So you got to go engage with the people, the clients that you really want to help. And that starts with knowing who your niche is, what industry you're going to help. Then go into their world, and LinkedIn will start to see that you're engaging with them. And don't do it. Don't try to sell. Don't try to go make an offer to take over their plan in some comment on one of their posts. Just make a thoughtful comment about their post that has no expectations. And they're probably going to look at who is this person and see your profile, and then they continue to see you pop up. It's going to be top of mind when a 401k becomes important to them.
I can't agree more. Like, I think the step that people skip is when we have a prospect or someone we're speaking to. I think most people do go connect with them on LinkedIn, but then go and follow the company page and engage in their content. So our session today is, what is your social media strategy? I basically have two things I'm trying to accomplish on social media, and then I'm going to ask you what your strategy is.
Okay.
My first is to be top of mind when somebody needs something 401k related. That's it. I just want to be the last thing that they think of, the last thing that they saw and the first thing they think of when a 401k issue arises. Yeah. My second strategy is to produce high quality content. I want the messaging to always demonstrate that I do actually know what I'm talking about. So that's my social media strategy. What is yours?
Yeah, to me, I have fun with it, and so I like to give people value, give away what's working for me, and just share my best secrets. But the same thing has happened for me where I get calls all the time. It's like I've created this machine. Yeah. They know that when 401k comes into a meeting or a question or something that they need to deal with and it's 401k related, they think of me. They call me, they message me, they direct message me, whatever it might be. They know that I'm going to find the answer for them. And so, social media has just generated so many different opportunities that I didn't expect. And on the same front, it's given me an opportunity to meet other advisors, learn from other people, connect with amazing mentors across the country that have been very successful. I mean, just last night we were down in the hotel and like out in the front, we surrounded to like every single big name advisor you could think of. It was awesome. So I wouldn't know these people if I hadn't been using LinkedIn. And so that's just been so great.
That's such a huge byproduct, not just the business development side, but the networking and the getting to know people in the industry. I joke, like, when else can you banter with the president of the ARA, right? Like, when can you just call Brian Goff on the carpet, and give him trouble? So I love the access to not just, of course, potential clients, but others in the industry like yourself. I feel like Jake and I are best friends, and we've probably only seen each other in person three, 4, 5 times.
Not
that many.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have to go to our session soon, so we're going to wrap this up. But I'm going to ask you, can you, in today's environment, build a successful practice without social media? And if so, how?
I think it's still possible. I think there is still, depending on the kind of practice you want to run, you can definitely do things, the old-fashioned way and go to lunches and go golfing, and those things work. It's just going to take more time, and you may not be as the companies grow, you might not be the one that they can keep in place because there's going to be a lot more noise, a lot more attention on social media and other areas where they're going to see there might be something better for them out here. So it would be completely relationship driven, which, don't get me wrong, will still work, but you want to be relationship driven and you want to be the best fit to help them achieve the goals of the plan. That's got to be there.
I agree. I mean, I think you can build a practice without doing social media. In fact, I think you have to do marketing and sales outside of social media. I don't think you can do it by yourself. What social media is to me is just the amplifier. It's the amplifier of the work you're already doing. So it spreads the message further and wider.
Right. You've got to get yourself out there and share it, because there's good things happening all the time behind closed doors across the country with advisors helping plan sponsors. Share it. And you can keep privacy of your clients. You don't need to share the exact details, but you can share case studies. You can share things, especially, the whole ecosystem, all the wholesalers. Figure it out. And we're all in sales, right? And if you let compliance stop you, this is what I want to talk about in our session today. If you let compliance just stop you, like, come on, you can't sell compliance on the idea that you need to communicate with the world now where their attention is. You've got to start working towards it, and you've got to get over that hurdle if that's what's stopping you. And if you're scared because you don't want to be judged or people saying stuff, get over that too. Who cares? Like, just be you, be the real you, the authentic you, and you'll win in the end, because that's the best you can be.
That's such good advice. Don't let compliance be a hard stop. You got to push back. The SEC is embracing how we operate online now. And they even are allowing testimonials. Now, not many firms are allowing them because they're still figuring it out. But if there was ever a time for us to springboard our presence on social media, it's now. Like, we need to figure this out.
If you don't, you're going to fall behind. You're going to miss this chance. So figure it out now.
Yes, this is a TLC t-shirt. At the Wealth at Work conference, we're supposed to wear a favorite rock band, and I wasn't going to lie and sport a Van Halen or something. So I stuck true to my early 90s roots and Lisa Left Eye.
I love it.
So Jake, anything else that you want to share? We have a great chat going on right now. I'm so thankful for everybody who joined. Anything you want to share?
I would just say, if you're not at Wealth at Work, you need to be there. I think it's in Vegas next year. It's one of the best conferences because it's taught by peers. So it's by other advisors, and so it's really great to meet with everybody. So it's one of my favorite conferences. So I'm glad we're here today.
I agree. Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Jake, for joining, guys. Thank you so much. Reach out to him if you want to know more about the 401k Club. I think it's a great program that he's got together, and a great group of people all sharing ideas in the process. So thanks so much, guys, and I'm sure we'll see you on here soon.
Yep. See you, everybody.